Star Wars Outlaws is not a bad game, and I know I'm probably going to get a lot of negativity in the comments around this for the title of this video and for the discussion that I'm having with you. But I do want to get a few things off my chest because I've not really liked seeing what has happened these last few weeks with the release of this game. It's not bad, and we're going to discuss why it's not bad, and we're going to go over everything that's happening with Star Wars Outlaws right now, and my opinion on the matter. And just to get something just nipped in the bud right away, because I know a lot of people have been saying this on so many of my videos, I am not being paid by Ubisoft to produce Star Wars content. I know you get that pop-up on every single video that I do. It's because I share with you my Ubisoft creator code at the start of every video. Because I share with you that creator code, and I am in partnership in Ubisoft with that way, where you can use my creator code on their Ubisoft Connect store, and I can make money from that. I've got to include that there's a paid, or I'm endorsing something in this video with YouTube. That's why it pops up, just for that. I am free to say whatever I like about this game. If I hate Star Wars Outlaws, I can tell you that. If I want to reap off a lot of hate towards the game and jump on that bandwagon, I can do. I'm free to do all this, but I don't, because that ain't my opinion. I actually believe this is a brilliant game. So do many others, and it's quite mad what's happening with this game right now. So is Star Wars Outlaws the best game that's ever been made? No, certainly not. Was it ever intended to be that? I don't think so. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but I've never watched the movies. I was covering the game because of the hype and because I've seen a lot of people looking forward to it. And I thought, I love a game like this as well. I love an open world, action adventure, checkbox sort of game where you go for the 100%. Lots of side activities to do, a good story. It's my sort of game. It's right up there with me. This sort of game of like the Uncharted series, Tomb Raider series, God of War even. I love these style of games. So I was very interested to see what a Ubisoft Star Wars take would be on that. I have played Star Wars games in the past, even though I've not been interested in the movies or watched the movies. I have played the games. So I was interested to see their take on it in an open world sort of game like this. How I saw it was a Star Wars game being made by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans. Nothing was promised about this being anything groundbreaking, anything that was going to change the genre, anything that was going to move the genre forward. I don't remember any of this being advertised. I just remember an open world Star Wars game being advertised, and that is exactly what we got. Now, a lot of the complaints I can only agree with. People are complaining about the game, saying that it's nothing new. It's just reused stuff. It's the same sort of stuff Ubisoft have made before, just in a different skin. And I can only agree with you. I agree. I reviewed this game and I gave it a 7 out of 10. The reason why I gave it a 7 out of 10 was because of this. Because it's not nothing groundbreaking. It is nothing new. It's pretty much everything we've already done before, which is what a lot of games are nowadays, in all honesty. Let's not hide away from the fact that next gen now is not next gen like it used to be. We've kind of hit a mountaintop in terms of like the generation of like consoles and gaming and the leaps and bounds it makes forward. So we're kind of stuck with what we got, and you've got to be very clever with making new games now as to how do you get the audience, how do you deliver something new like that, how do you make that next 10 out of 10 game. This was not Star Wars Outlaws. I agree. It's not that. It is not that next game that's taking the genre forward. It's certainly not anything that new that we haven't seen before. 100%. But that's why it's only a 7 out of 10 game. Okay? If I was ranking this 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, then that's what I'd expect to see. I'd expect to see something fresh, something new, something that's groundbreaking, something that's amazing, something that's wowed me. You know, that's your 10 out of 10 game. This is not that. This is a 7 out of 10 enjoyable experience. It does not mean the game's bad, though. Just because it's none of that, it doesn't mean it's a bad game. Yes, it had some bugs. It's had some teething problems as it got released. I think the worst one for me was seeing that the PlayStation 5 owners, even with the early access, they had to restart again after the early access for whatever reason. When the game was officially launched, they had to start again. So the first 3 days meant nothing. That was a bit bad, I have to admit. But what can you do? These things can happen. I've seen worse. Like, I've played some games in the last few years that I've just not been able to play from launch. I'm thinking back to Payday 3. That's a terrible launch. Absolute terrible. I was struggling to get into a game. I know that's completely different because it's online servers and things like that. But still, it was a terrible launch. I'll go back to Outriders as well. I couldn't play Outriders properly for the first week. I watched that loading screen more than I played the game for the first 2-3 days. It was an absolute terrible launch that completely lost me. I couldn't continue after that first week. I kind of did. I got to the end of the game, but it was such a bad launch. It ruined it for me. Star Wars Outlaws was none of that. Yes, it had some bugs. Like I said, the worst one for me was seeing that PlayStation 5 bug. There's been some mission bugs. They have patched things quickly, though. And to be quite fair, from my personal experience on this, it's been a pretty solid release. So I've been reading a lot of Reddit as well. I've been popping up on my phone, probably because I've been talking about this with friends and how the phone works with her and what you're talking about. And I've been clicking on some of them. One of them was this one. Star Wars Outlaws is actually pretty good. All the negativity surrounding this game almost put me off from buying it. Glad I did though. Haven't been addicted to a game this badly since Elden Ring released. 30 hours in just 5 days. Really don't understand the negativity surrounding this game. Probably the best Ubisoft game in a while. Graphics are fine, unlike what people said. Sure, it isn't top tier, but they are obviously fine, especially when you consider the size of the game. Combat is fun, worlds are detailed and feel alive. There's a lot to do. Dialogue is top tier. In 30 hours, I got 2 minor bugs. That's it. That's all the negative things I've had to say about this game. Anyone else really enjoying this game? Really don't know how this game has so many people hating, to be honest. I think anyone who actually played it would like it. Then we have JDL saying, people are so obnoxious about games these days. I haven't played it because it's not my kind of game. We'd think it was the Gollum game with how much negativity surrounds it. And I like this. I like this here. It's a Ubisoft game. They are all 7s with a +1 or a -1. They aren't bad. They aren't good. They are average. If you like the theme of the game, it's a +1. An 8, pretty good. If you don't like it, it's a -1, a 6, pretty bad. That is it, really. You don't really need any reviews for a Ubisoft game. Just follow this formula and you'll be in the ballpark. Couldn't agree more with that. Unless it's The Division. The Division's a 10. There are lots of these threads on Reddit. It's overwhelming with how many people actually really enjoy this game, like myself. Like this one here. Did you enjoy Outlaws? I won't tell you it's an incredible game, but what I can say is I truly enjoyed it. They go on about how much they enjoyed it. This guy here, I expected an average game. After playing it, I think it's above average. Profit. I've been reading so much positivity from people playing this game. Even when we go to Metacritic.com, you can see the critic score there is a high 76. So it's in line with the score that we're giving it, you know, a 7 out of 10, 76 out of 100. It's where it's at. It's where the game's at. And that isn't bad. Yes, the user score 5.5 there. But let's talk about that user score. And let's talk about these headlines, why Ubisoft investors are not happy with the sales of the game. And for me, the fact of the matter is quite simple. It's social media. We live in a world where social media has such a big influence on people. You even call us influencers. And the hate train or the negativity sort of videos do very, very well. People will click on these. And it started a while back. It used to be quite fun to click on something and see someone rant about something. And it used to be quite fun. But for me, it's grown very old very quick. And it now has such a negative effect on the industry. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be movies. It could be gaming. It could be whatever. Once you start this sort of hate train where some big influencers get a hold of it, you have millions and millions of people then following this. And they'll follow it without even testing things for themselves. And this is where it comes into those user scores on Metacritic and the comments on the videos that I put up. I can't put up a video without somebody that's never even played the game tell me what a trash game it is. How do you have that opinion when you've not played it for yourself? Like, how have you really seen enough to make that? Or are you just following an influencer and what some headlines have said? Because it's every single video. And I've seen Reddits go on about this as well. I'm in a YouTube Reddit and there's a YouTuber that's trying to make Star Wars content. But every single video, he's just getting hounded by people saying what a dead game it is, what a trash game it is. Why is he making content for such an awful game? This game's in the mud. And this is what happens. This is social media nowadays. So before Star Wars Outlaws was released, I remember watching a video and it was targeting Ubisoft by how they were paying loads of people to make good reviews for them. I was one of the people that got invited to play Star Wars early. I had a review copy and I had an NDA to sign. I can't discuss that NDA, but what I can say is in that signature, in that signed document, there was nowhere that told me that I had to give them a good review. That was not the case at all. Now, I'm not a big YouTuber at all, but I know thousands and thousands of people signed this same NDA. People were free to speak about the game how they wanted to. I was not inclined to state anything, really. Like, the only thing that I couldn't show you, really, was spoilers. And they didn't want me to emphasize on any bugs because it wasn't the final product of the game. But I could speak about what I wanted. I could review it. I could share with you everything I wanted. But all I saw before the release was stuff like this, articles like this, and the hate train started. Then the game got released, and it just carried on and carried on. And these influencers that are getting on board on this and getting loads of views from doing this, they've got millions and millions of followers. And this has heavily influenced the game. People are not buying the game because of this. We saw in that one comment on Reddit there that because of all this negativity, they weren't going to buy the game. They decided to anyway, and they're glad that they did because they really enjoyed it. Most people that buy this game and play it are really enjoying it because it is a good game. It really is. It's a great game. The story is awesome. This sort of genre game is great. And if you're a Star Wars fan, again, I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I can't relate to this. But I've been reading a lot of Star Wars fan reviews where they are absolutely loving this game. Since their childhood, they have dreamt about having this game. They feel it's the best Star Wars game that they have ever played, and they are absolutely in love with it. And so many people are posting these messages about how much they love this Star Wars universe, which is what the original aim was. They wanted to make a Star Wars game in an open world full of all that exploration for Star Wars fans, and they've hit the nail on the head with that. So in terms of the goals, I felt they met them. But the media, the social media presence, and this hate train against the game has just took over. And it's so sad to see. You see this with so much recently. Social media is such a freaking curse. It's horrible. Like, as soon as you're on that bandwagon, as soon as you get a few of these big influencers get on that bandwagon, and you've then got millions and millions of people joining you on that. It's like it doesn't matter what this game does. It's a terrible, in my opinion, it's a terrible position to be in gaming right now. And it's part of what's destroying the industry, because what's happening is social media have now got control of what's good and what's bad. And it's not that, it's right in a way. Like, if the game's really bad, we need to know. We want to know, you want to be informed. But it's the problem we have is that negativity sells views. It gets views. So you will find anything you can to pinpick to just get that negative video out in a way, because that's going to get you more views and being positive. And when we're living in that sort of environment, that sort of world, then games nowadays have to be near on perfect to get a good response. And if they're not, they're going to get blown to pieces. I'm already seeing a hate train develop for Ubisoft's next major title, Assassin's Creed. And we're already starting now about how not to buy that game. And I've been reading comments like, I hope that game flops. This is the world we live in, and it's a horrible one. You're going to see lack of investment in games. You're going to see unhappy investors like you're seeing with these headlines right now, because these are money-making businesses at the end of the day. They're making these games to make money. And if social media are winning against these games and turning people off it and they're not getting the sales, there's going to be less risks taken. There's going to be less games being made. There's going to be less investment in games. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know where the industry is going to go. What I've seen with Star Wars Outlaws has kind of shocked me a little bit. Not too much, because I know how bad social media can be and influence can be in that way. And I'm not sitting here, like I said at the start of the video, I'm not saying that this is the best game that's ever been made. It's not. By a long shot. It's nowhere near that. But has it deserved the hate that it's got? Has it deserved, this hate train taking over people's thoughts, making people not buy the game? No. I believe this is a good game. It's a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 to me is good. That's a good game. Would I buy the Ultimate Edition? Would I advise you to buy the Ultimate Edition? No, I just buy the standard edition. Maybe if you like the game, get the season pass, get the gold edition. I'd say that for most games, to be honest with you. It's not like this game is being charged any more than any other regular game that's coming out right now. It runs in with the same price, so you know what you're getting with it. And if you really want to, you can wait and save money when it goes on sale. I'm sure it won't be long before it goes on sale with Christmas coming up. You can get it cheaper. And if you really, really want to, you could just go and get Ubisoft Plus for a month and play the game and complete it within that month, and it'll just cost you less than £20. You could play this whole game for less than £20 if you really wanted to. The options are all there. So it's not even that it comes down to money. It's just a good game. It's a well-made game. It's good. Rough around the edges at parts. Could definitely be better, but it could definitely be worse. I think they've made a real solid game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I just wanted to get this out there today because, yeah, I've been reading a lot of negativity. I've been reading a lot of these positive comments as well from people who have actually played the game and enjoying it. And it's just a mad world that we're in right now with the gaming industry, and it's quite scary to see where it's going to go. I'm actually quite worried for the future of the games that I play. Like, I played The Division. I love The Division. The Division 3 has been announced, and I'm quite worried about that. I'm worried about the future of Ubisoft right now because, you know, I'm going to say no fault of their own in this instance. They're getting so much backlash for something that they've done a good job on, and that kind of sucks. But I'm going to end it there. As far as sharing my thoughts today, thank you for listening to me ramble on. Hit like on the video. Drop some positive comments if you can as well, because I'm probably going to get loads of negative comments down there. But I appreciate you watching. Hit subscribe for more content. And until the next one, take care. Peace out.